And coming up tonight on Marquette on the Line, I'll be sitting down with a young woman who is running for Congress. I'll tell you about her journey. And want to hear about the biggest scandal in the physics world? Find out which lecture you can go to. Plus, several bake sales are going on around Marquette. What groups are supporting these efforts? Your questions, your stories. This is Marquette on the Line.
Live from Marquette, this is your campus news source, TV News.
Hi everyone, and welcome to Marquette on the Line. I'm Maura Phares. Tomorrow is voting day for all Wisconsin residents. People can vote for the Supreme Court Justice, Circuit Court judges, and the State Superintendent of Public Instruction. Any student who is registered here and voted in November does not need to re-register. New voters can register at the polls on Election Day. If this is your first time voting and you live in the residence halls, your Marquette ID will be enough to register. If you live off campus, bring a government-issued identification and proof of residence. For more details, go to Marquette's voter information website. And tonight, we are thrilled to have Samantha Carter join us. Ms. Carter is running for Congress in Wisconsin, District 4, which includes Milwaukee, West Dallas, St. Francis, Cudahy, and South Milwaukee. Welcome, Ms. Carter. We're so happy to have you here.
Thank you. Thank you.
So now, Ms. Carter, you grew up right here in inner city Milwaukee. Can you tell us a little bit about your background that helped shape your current political passion?
Absolutely. I grew up here on Keefe Avenue. I started here on Keefe Avenue, and then I went and progressed towards the northwest side of Milwaukee. As my bio says, that as though I was walking and growing up in tough neighborhoods. I still had to deal with issues of home. My dad, he ended up getting involved with drugs and crime. And so that was hard growing up, to have a father who really wasn't around, because he went into different things that had nothing to do with what I was trying to do with life. So it was hard, tough growing up that way, but still you persevere, you overcome, and that's always good. Have that opportunity to overcome, to do things that you want.
Definitely have then.
To do things that you know that needs to be done. So against all odds, you can still succeed. So I like that about myself and my stories, because against all odds, you can still make things happen for your life.
Oh, that's great. And you certainly are so accomplished. But for a brief overview for our viewers on your platform of the political issues, in regards to the economy, I know that's been on the minds of so many Americans. Now, you support the expansion of small business grants, fundings. Why is this, and what benefits do you feel that this would have for the average American citizen?
Well, as the first thing is, this particular legislation has not been developed or passed yet, the expansion of small business grants. What it is it's giving the opportunity for businesses that are thriving to be able to expand. And what we want to do is, it's a criteria that's going to be put onto this legislation once we have the opportunity to get it introduced in the House. And that criteria is going to be, you have to be in existence between 5 and 10 years.
Okay.
And then the 5 years out of the 10, or however long you've been, the last 5 years, we're going to ask for you to have a proof that you've been profitable. What we want to see is a net profit of about 35%, and have that opportunity to take that 35% net profit, and we'll be able to see from there that this is actually a business that's going to thrive if it does expand. And by expanding that business, it's going to open up new jobs, new employment for people. Obviously, the unemployment rate is skyrocketed.
True. We
are at 8.5% according to the Department of Labor currently. And in the last 4 months of 2008, we really plummeted with the unemployment rate. So now it's time for us to try to do some restoration and restore our country into doing better. And so hopefully this small business package will allow businesses to localize themselves and then expand outward. We're going to develop where the need is, where the employment is high in the communities, and then take that and radiate outward. So if there's other business that qualify for this grant, they'll line up radiating from the center mass.
Oh, that's a great outlook on things. I really enjoyed hearing that. And also in regards to your platform on foreign policy, you said that you support sit-downs without preconditions to enhance communication and situational foreign relations. Can you just explain for our viewers what you mean by sit-downs and without preconditions?
Absolutely. To have a sit down is to say that we want you to conform to what we've asked for you. And have a sit down without preconditions is to say that, well, you don't have to meet every single condition that we've set before you for us to have a communication. I think two things that run people is fear and pride. And we can't allow our emotions to run the country. We have to be better than that. We have to do better than that. To have an opportunity of communication is going to give conversational oversight into situational issues. You know, the worst thing is to keep a mind idle. It gets full of assumptions and gets full of things that cause us to not care or have confused opinions and ideas about what's going on. And I think once we open up the door to communication, we'll have a better opportunity to enhance our foreign policy, procedures, and diplomatic issues, and we'll also have a better opportunity to open up a door of communication. And it's not saying that, with a caveat, of course, saying that, you know, we're not going to back down on what we already set in place just because we've communicated. We just want to hear your side of the story. If that's all it takes for us to avoid a war, why not do it? You know, why not sit down with someone, a foreign leader, and say, well, we want to hear what you have to say, but we're not changing our mind, but at least, you know, we're listening.
Right, definitely. I appreciate your insight on that matter. And then just really quickly, as we're running out of time, I apologize, about your recent Healthy Baby Act, could you just explain why this is important for the public to have, and expectant mothers to have access to the free or low-cost clinics?
Absolutely. What the Healthy Baby Act in 2009 is a bill that I wrote myself, and I actually gave it to the current Congresswoman, Ms. Gwen Moore, asking her to introduce it on the House side. And what it is given the opportunity for young ladies or women who have confirmed pregnancies to get a packet of information that tells them where the free or low-cost clinics, post and prenatal care is, so that we can avoid having a higher infant mortality rate. One of the issues with being in a part of one of the 29th, we're 29 currently in the country's comparison on infant mortality rate. We have a 6.26 per thousand deaths per year for each 1,000 babies that's born.
Wow.
And that's pretty high for a superpower country like ourselves. So what we want to do with that is we want to give these kids more knowledge. And the teen pregnancy, when I mean kids, is because the rise of teen pregnancy, which is also an inhibitor for preterm births. We want to give them more opportunity to know more of what to do before the baby is born and while they're pregnant, in order to curb some of the preterm labor and in order to curb some of the infant mortality that's occurring in our nation.
Well, that's great, and thank you so much for joining me tonight. I'm sorry that we're out of time, but you did mention that for any poli-sci majors or really anyone else, Marquette students, if you would like to get involved and help out Ms. Carter here with her campaign, to just log on to her website.
www.samanthacarterforcongress.com.
Okay, and thank you very much for being here tonight. I really appreciate it. And after the break, we'll have details about this year's Alumni of the Year, and I'll sit down with a reporter from the Marquette Tribune to discuss his upcoming article. Don't touch that remote. Marquette on the Line will be right back.